got about 25, 30 minutes in max, minimum 20 minutes before, the main event. And I got to tell you, this has been a great night of boxing. Great night of boxing, great card. The stars came out to see Terence Crawford, which I'm gonna talk about that later. At the end of the day, a lot of people were praying for Terence Crawford's downfall, saying Terence Crawford isn't a draw and all this stuff, and he doesn't compare to Errol Spence and all that kind of stuff. But Terence Crawford proved that he could pack the house. You know, the place is filled up, it's filling up. I know it's gonna be excuses, people trying to downplay Terence Crawford selling out a venue in LA, but they came to see Bud. And thanks to Turkey Al Sheik, people now will know who Bud is, and Bud is going to become a worldwide household name. You know, something that he was lacking is something he was deprived of. But nevertheless, I want to talk about the fight with Jose Valenzuela and Pitbull Cruz. Man, um, Jose Valenzuela was like Joe Clark or Edward James Olmos from Stand and Deliver because he was a teacher. He gave Cruz a boxing lesson. I know it's an announcer's job to call a fight and try to make it look as competitive as possible, but I thought El Rayo easily won that fight. I had him winning 8 rounds to 4. He gave Cruz a boxing lesson. And people try to make it look like, well, effective aggression. Cruz would land some big shots every once in a while, but Valenzuela was able to get out of the way of that hook. He was slipping punches, blocking punches. He was turning Cruz. He pretty much executed his game plan better than Pitbull executed his game plan. And when it comes to judging these fights, I don't know how they had a split decision. I didn't even think it was close. I know that they have to be dramatic, but if Pitbull Cruz had won that fight, it would have been a robbery. You know, it would have been a robbery. So now the question is, what's next for him? Probably if you Tank Davis and you watching this fight, and it's very late at night in Paris because he's in Paris, but he probably thinking to himself, okay, now I don't even have to worry about a rematch with Pitbull Cruz. Okay, who's a more easier fight for me? Styles make fights, but you never know. You never know. Uh, he bounced back from that knockout loss to Edward De Los Santos. He bounced back, and he's all the way back. Stuff happens, and that's how you bounce back from a loss. You try to get it out of your memory, and you bounce back, and you just be like, okay, I had a bad night. Where some people, they just can't get over having one bad night. You have to question what's going to go on with Jared Anderson because he got beat down. Well, it is what it is. This is the problem in boxing. I just don't understand how they even remotely had that fight a split decision. Clearly, Valenzuela executed his game plan far better. And he not, he lifted Cruz off his feet a couple of times. That uppercut was there for him all night using a jab. That's something had David Morrell, had he used that more in the fight to set up his combination punches and his big shots, he probably would have got hot rod up out of there. And that's the problem. It's always sometimes with boxers, but he's still young in his career. He's 26 and he only got 10 fights in. Hopefully that's something he could learn. That's that one tool that's missing out of his arsenal is him learning a consistent jab, whether it's a peppering jab or a hard jab. Like me, I jab to set up a big shot. I got the Larry Holmes jab, so or the Floyd Mayweather jab. I don't try to pepper people with jab. I really had that snap jab. You know, so but like I said, it was a great fight. It was a great fight. So now, if you Tank Davis, it's like, okay, I don't have to fight Shakur Stevenson right now. I'm telling you right now, Tank versus uh, Venezuela is next. Excuse me, Valenzuela is next. Mark my word, he is not going to fight Shakur Stevenson next because that's a more easier fight to get made because dude is affiliated with the PBC. So that'll be an easier fight. And you know how Tank is. You know, remember, Team Davis said that black fighters don't sell. Well, actually, it's been proven that black fighters do sell because Bud packed the house. Bud is the headliner. They came to see Terence Crawford. So I don't want to hear that crap. I don't want to hear those excuses anymore. But yeah, we definitely gonna break down the card. We gonna talk about all the fights. Like I said, I may have to do two segments. I may have to do two streams where we talk about the undercard first, and then we talk about the main event, depending on what happens in the main event. You know, so I don't know how long we are from the fighters walking out because I know Eminem is about to perform or he could be performing. I have no interest in watching Eminem perform. At the end of the day, this in Los Angeles, they should have brought should have got to perform. So all the myths Terence Crawford have been debunked. It's a lie. It's been a lie, and it just goes to show you that there's been this witch hunt to tear Terence Crawford down. Not only by you know what I'm saying, quote unquote. The more people that I'm disappointed in is the people that look like us. At the end of the day, I'm not. You know, at the end of the day, you just got to call it a spade, a spade. You know, I'm not letting Top Rank off the hook, but at the is a 92-year-old white man. Nothing about this generation, and you just that's just it is what it is. But who should we be more disappointed in? Should it be Al Heyman that basically froze Terence Crawford out, that prevented Terence Crawford from getting a lot of marquee fights? At the end of the day, he did it. At the end of the day, Terence Crawford got to where he was anyway, even though they tried to throw a lot of hurdles. You look at where Terence Crawford is now, you know, this is his moment. This is his chance for him to shine. You know, for him to put on the show, keep that knockout streak continuing, and let's see what's going on. Dude, dude, could you do me a favor? Could you do me a favor? I need you to let me, you know what I'm saying, have your father's phone number so I can give him a call or give me his email. And I need to ask your father, why didn't he pull out? You know, because at the end of the day, he wasted good sperm shooting it in your mother because you came out. It's always one. You see this dude every time we having a good stream. It's always some clown. Okay, so you got your attention. So I just humiliated you, or you know what I'm saying. You should let me get in contact with your mother so I can make sure her tubes are tied so she don't have no more accidents like you. And the only reason why she didn't abort you because by the time she found out that she was pregnant with you, it was too late to abort you. Listen, dude, you, I highly recommend you don't do that on my channel. Yeah, see, the thing is with pressure fighters, you can get them to make mistakes. You can use their aggression against them, and that's what Jose Valenzuela did. And he did, man. His defense was really good. Now there were times in the fight where he got caught. I think in the 11th round he got shaken a little bit, and that's why Robert Garcia said, "Hey man, what are you doing, dude? It's like you got this in the bag. What are you doing? Keep." Because when he was like Pitbull couldn't really hit him with nothing flush on a consistent basis. Every once in a while he'd land something, but boy, that uppercut and that jab was keeping him at bay. And it got to the point to where Pitbull, to a certain degree, he got predictable. It was very hard for him to make adjustments. He was just hoping that, you know, that Valenzuela would get a little lackadaisical. He would get a little lazy, and he would get too comfortable. And he was hoping that maybe he could land a home run shot. But then he woke up after that 11th round, and I thought he closed very strong and ended up securing the fight. But that split decision stuff, that was baloney. Well, one thing about Pitbull, this is why he didn't want to fight nobody. This is why he wouldn't fare well against somebody like Shakur Stevenson. That's why he turned down the fight against Shakur Stevenson. Because that pretty much what would have happened to him. Shakur Stevenson would have outbought circles around him, and he would have probably humiliated him. And that's why he told Shakur Stevenson that he ain't coming up off his name. He don't even believe he could beat Shakur Stevenson. So now what happens to Pitbull is kind of like back to the drawing board for him. Basically, he's one and done with his belt. So should he move back down to 135? Should he stay at 140? And it's some fights out there for him, you know, but still to a certain degree, you have to wonder, is the PBC willing to make certain fights? I wouldn't mind seeing a Teofimo Pitbull fight, because at the end of the day, we know Teofimo Lopez can't sell no tickets. Oh, you had it a shutout? I gave Pitbull like 4 rounds. I gave him like 4 rounds, but I didn't think it was remotely close. I didn't think it was remotely close enough to call it a split decision or even a draw. But now there's a blueprint on how to beat Pitbull. If you could weather the storm with him, if you could weather the storm, you know, keep him at bay with a good jab, turn him, slip him, then you'll have success. But if you start to crack under pressure, because he comes forward, there's going to be opportunities to hit him. And I like how Valenzuela was able to crack that high guard. He hit him with that uppercut, and then he hit him with some body shots. And then he would hit him with some leads. And then he would turn him. And then, you know, by the time he turned him, and then Pitbull was trying to switch, he would get hit. He would walk into something. It was like, man, I got to give that dude credit. You know, I'll probably see him in a little bit. I'll probably see him at the next fight I cover. I think I know what's going to be the next fight I cover. Man, listen, I'm not even going to entertain this stuff about the fight isn't sold out. Like, at the end of the day, people just negative and stuff. I don't know. And here's the thing that be tripping me out. Why everybody always worried about what a black fighter's ticket sales is? Nobody don't care what David Benavidez's ticket sales is. Nobody don't care what Canelo's ticket sales is, because Canelo quiet as kept. Except for the fight in Mexico, Canelo's last few Las Vegas fights haven't been sold out. So, but that's what I'm saying. They always worried about what a brother is selling. Nobody don't care what Lombardi was selling, but they always want to keep track. Just like they like the pocket watch now, they want a ticket watch. The venue is sold out, man. So I'm not even trying to hear that. And I know it ain't you. I just don't understand the negativity and the hate and how people try to. I just don't understand how people love trying to, you know, attack black fighters. And some of this come from so-called black content creators. Because like I said, I'm going to tell you right now, I ain't one of these black content creators that, get kicks off of like downing and putting down black fighters. I'm extremely for black fighters. Everybody knows that. But the venue is sold out. Who you think I'm going to listen to? Turkey Al-Sheikh, or I'm going to listen to some clown that's talking behind a computer that ain't even there? I'm not doing this. Who you think I'm finna listen to? Who you think I'm finna listen to? You think I'm finna listen to some clown that's like in North Dakota or somewhere behind the talking behind? Oh, it's not sold out. How do you know? That probably ain't never went to a fight in their life. If Turkey Al Sheikh say fight is sold out, then the fight is sold out. Okay, keep in mind they opened up sections of the fight. So I just get tired of hearing that. I get tired of people trying to suppress black fighters. And like I said, a lot of them look like us. Now I expect that from non-black so-called fight fans because that's their thing. Always they're gonna always try to dismiss what black fighters do and what they contribute to boxing. Without no black fighters, there is no boxing, whether you like it or not. So it is what it is. Well, I mean, people like playing them games. I think it's sad. I think it's sad. When it, hold on. When has Valenzuela ever headlined a card? When has Valenzuela has ever headlined a card? When is people really ever headlined the card? How many times did Bud headline the card? Okay, stop it. Easy work. People need people need to cut that nonsense out. It's just really ridiculous, and it's repulsive to just hear this stuff. But these were the same people talking about Errol Spence is selling out venue. Errol Spence's last fight and Dallas sold like 30 a venue that can hold 100,000 people to capacity. So like 30,000 tickets, and them tickets was like $45. But nobody talks about that. I don't even like doing this kind of stuff. That's cool. Here's the thing: the stadium holds to capacity 100,000 people. So technically the joint wasn't even halfway sold out. But you don't hear me talking about that. But here it is. These people always try to do this stuff. I don't understand this animosity that people got, and particularly black people have for Terence Crawford. It's tired. It's tired now. It's tired. Nobody wants to hear this stuff. Bud got all the celebrities there coming to see him. A-listers, A-list TV stars, actors. Kate Beckinsale is there. Vince Vaughn is there. Anthony Anderson is there. Wiz Khalifa is there. Scottie Pippen is there. Scottie Pippen, top 75 greatest basketball players of all time. Um, 6-time NBA champion. Uh, yeah. So there you have it. Yeah, it's something different about Terence Crawford. I saw it a long time ago. It just hit different with him. It's just something different. It's something different about him. He just got a different kind of swag. I don't know what it is, but it's just something different about him. But we about to see what he does in a few minutes. I'm outside. What's going on? Is Eminem done performing? Can I go back in the house now? So is Eminem done performing so I can go back in the house because I don't want to hear Eminem because we like 20 minutes into this stream, so I know it's still got a little bit of time. I know they got to get everything set up. So no, I'm just saying I don't understand what it is about our people and this negativity that they like to throw out. Like I said, if Mexicans fighters all that in a bag of chips, how comes the most successful fights in history don't involve Mexican versus Mexican fighters? Now, some of them go get mad and be hurt by what I'm saying, but I'm just telling the truth. It ain't no, you know what I'm saying? It ain't no disrespect, but it's facts. But at the same time, I see too much disrespect towards my people. But if you take it as being disrespectful, well, that's your fucking problem, not mine's. Man, I don't pay attention to Eminem. Eminem supposedly had #1 album that ain't nobody talking about. And that's deceptive too when people say, "Oh, he had this many albums debut at #1," but how long you got to go by? Well, how many units did they sell? How long was it #1? And what was the buzz around it? Man, ain't nobody talking about Eminem's new album that he just dropped. I'm just keeping it above. Black like I said, black people are simple minded. Y'all need to look at something on YouTube called how to it's called How to Sell to the Negro, something like that. Yeah, How to Sell to the Negro. It's like a 20-minute video. So y'all go check that out. They kind of explain to you like how they, trick black people into, keeping other communities rich instead of making our communities rich. Y'all need to check it out. It's on YouTube. It's called How to Sell to a Negro. I don't give a damn what black people think about me not caring for Eminem's music. Like I said, Eminem fell off after his fourth album. Like I said, after the Slim Shady, what was it? I forgot. Oh, M Core or whatever it was called. He was like he completely like it. I was nah. I thought he reached his peak after his fourth album, and then the fifth album, the album with Crack a Bottle, I was like, oh my god. I was like, I'm completely done with this dude. Yeah, it did. It did. But if you want to understand how that works and how it was a plan that they put together like in the 50s. So this stuff to basically, get the end segregation, separate but equal. They was like, nah, we can't do that. We'll integrate, but we'll let them come and shop at our stores. They looked at the economic buying power that black people had. So basically, they was like, why would we keep them segregated and build up their communities and make them billionaires when we'll let them into our communities, but we'll kick them out. We'll let them come in there just to spend money, but we'll kick them out. We'll give them what you would call a, you know what I'm saying, a temporary pass. But watch that video called "How to Sell to a Negro." It explains a lot. Oh, by Black Dynasty, man. I used to mess with Black Dynasty. They actually sampled the Club Nouveau beat before. They actually sampled the Club Nouveau beat "Why You Treat Me So Bad" actually before the Loonies did it. I've reached out to one of the dudes with Black Dynasty. I gotta set up an interview. He gonna come on here as soon as I can get in contact with him. I gotta hit him up. I got a lot of stuff lined up, so But yeah, of course I know who Black Dynasty is. I never met him in person, but yeah, they actually had a song where they sampled the "Why You Treat Me So Bad," and that's funny. Club Nouveau was a group out of Oakland and got sampled by Black Dynasty, a group out of Oakland, and then the Looney sampled it and turned it into one of the greatest hip hop songs of all time. And the funny thing is, I met the producer, Thomas McElroy, who helped produce that song. He trains at one of the gyms that I go to occasionally. So, and I got his number. That's funny. But yeah, but yeah, when you think of Club Nouveau, Why You Treat Me So Bad, um, I Got Five on it, and Black Dynasty, that song is gonna always be synonymous with, Oakland. Well, yeah, yeah. A lot of people don't want to talk about that because he saw what was coming. So he saw what was coming. And remember, he said we coming for a check. But anyway, you guys, go check out the video. It's on YouTube. It's called How to Sell to a Negro. When y'all see that video, you gonna see that the plot, that they had came up with a plot alone. Y'all gotta understand these plots be like 15, 20 years in the making before something actually gets uh, put into play or presented before Congress and all that stuff. And then they have some president sign off on it and all that kind of stuff. It's not what you think it is. A lot of that stuff be for real. Keep in mind, they told you back in 1990 that they was gonna have self-driving cars on total recall and all that kind of stuff, and that they was gonna be putting microchips in your hand and all that kind of stuff. And so they told you about all this stuff 30 years ago. Demolition Man, they told you about all that stuff 30 years ago. But anyway, appreciate it, guys. It's your boy Tail. I'm out.